In a world where two retired vets decided their phone conversations about WWE and storylines would make a good podcast, only one podcast dares to predict the future, where every move, every feud, every moment is overanalyzed. Grab your number 2 pencils. Get ready to step into the squared circle. This is your front row seat to the storylines as you wish they were written. Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. Here are your hosts, Sean Green and Matt Jackson.
Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. I'm your host, Sean Green, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Matt Jackson. Matt, how are you?
Good. So, hey, folks, we're not good at this techie stuff, but after last week and having to use USB-powered outside lanterns, and somebody commented about the tariffs maybe affecting our podcast equipment, so I did go out and buy a ring light, because, hey, I'm outside, folks. I'm a full-time RVer. I don't have the room to set up without kicking my wife to bed at 6 o'clock at night, and that ain't cool. So I'm out here. Rain, wind, snow, sleet, locusts, whatever.
Yep. And so, I come to you from my bar in my comfy chair, which is beat to all snot, but it's all gravy, baby. Yeah, and Matt, it's episode 30. We've revamped. Hey. We changed our logo. We made everything pretty for everybody. We're just getting better and better. You got ring lights now. I got ring lights. We got all this good stuff going on, man. It's just awesome. So,
hey, so good way to kick off episode number 30. Yeah, so
for sure.
Sean was spending his Sunday afternoon, so the football games must have been terrible because I was at the Pensacola Fair and he kept messaging me, "Hey, check out this logo. Check out this logo." Yeah, for you guys. So my guys
were week. So,
well, the Patriots basically had a bye week playing the Titans. So, but anyway, So Sean kept messaging me while I'm at the fair and sit with the wifey, and I'm like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" So, yeah, Sean did some hard work, and I think you're gonna like the new logo, the new brand, a little bit fancier schmancier, or Sean likes to say bougie. So
bougie,
but yeah, so. Hey, we're here for the long haul, folks, whether you like it or not.
Just keep that in mind. All right. So.
Oh, there's more?
Before we get into the wrestling, there is more. Before we get into wrestling, I wanted to talk about something that's very near and dear to Matt and myself's heart. So, we're both vets. We're clear about that. If you listen to our intro, you already know this, right? Like, we've gone way back. Him and I have known each other for years. We were in the Army together. We OC'd together. Everything's awesome. So obviously, with Veterans Day coming up next month, NFL shops already got Salute to Service gear out there, which is a great cause. However, this comes with a disclaimer, folks, and I'm going to say it up front. We are not a political podcast at all. So what I'm about to say to you of where this is located, take it with a grain of salt because the causes are good. willcowmajority.com. You can Google it. They run every Veterans Day. They run a thing called Operation Close Air Support. I'm wearing last year's shirt right now. I gave. So basically, what this is it's veterans, grassroots charities that do direct action. They don't lobby or any of that stuff, and they're not the bigger ones. They actually interact with folks. And this is very important. So, long story short is you donate, minimum donation is like $25. You pick what charity you want it to go to, and you get a free shirt. You got to pay for shipping, but no big whoop. All right. So, but what I do, I bring that up because I want everybody to understand all these great charities, and you don't necessarily have to go through Operation Close Air Support to do this. But I wanted to put it out there so people have options and they know some of these great charities that are out there that are supporting veterans out there. So the first one is Paws for Purple Hearts. Basically what they do, they train specialty dogs. Those specialty dogs are for troops or veterans with PTSD. The dogs are trained to do minor tasks, and they also are there to help detect PTSD flare-ups. So when the anxiety and stuff starts kicking in, this is something Matt and I know very much about. So they provide them a dog that is specially trained. It costs about 30 grand per dog per vet to train these dogs and place them with a vet that it will benefit. So it's a great cause. Another one, Stop Social Suicide. Another great charity that's out there, and they're saving lives. They're saving veterans' lives. And I apologize for tripping over it. I was a soldier, Matt was a soldier, so obviously I automatically say soldier, but we're all veterans. Heroes Hill. Okay, we're a wrestling podcast, and this is a fairly new one, but it's a big one. Those of you that know, it's Glenn Jacobs, right? Glenn Jacobs is the mayor of Knox County. Glenn Jacobs is one of the proponents for this charity. Basically, what they do is they have a plot of land. They're building tiny homes, not the micro homes, but tiny homes for homeless vets. So if you want a little bit of wrestling flair, Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane, he has a veterans charity out there that he's supporting. And, he was one of the benefactors this year that bought some of the shirts that you get for free. So there is a wrestling tie in there. Horses for Heroes. So this one, it's basically a ranch. They take soldiers or veterans that have issues. They take them out there. They work with the horses. It's not equine therapy, but it's more of a ranch. The person that runs it is a former Green Beret, and he does great work. And, the story that keeps on getting told is somebody called in, and they're all networked together, so everybody knows this. Somebody called in to stop soldier suicide, had a gun, bottle of whiskey. She was going to take her own life. Stop soldier suicide. Got in touch with Horses for Heroes, and Horses for Heroes got her on a plane that day. She is now teaching at Horses for Heroes.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's why this is so important, folks. And this is why we're taking time out of this podcast. And I hate to break it to you. You're going to hear this all the way until Veterans Day because it's something very important to myself, and I'm sure Matt as well. Veterans Community Housing Coalition. So this one is primarily focused on women and women with children that are homeless, that are veterans, and they basically find a home and help them start getting back into the job market and standing on their own feet. And I'm going to touch on that one at the end of this. Wishes for Warriors. So veterans that have lost limbs, they make specially modified stuff like ATVs and stuff like that, and basically take them out to do outdoorsy stuff and let them, kind of live life. And they give them the tools they need to live life. So specially modified gear to accommodate their missing appendages or anything like that. Another worthwhile one. And then finally, Rockland Homes for Heroes. If I'm not mistaken, this one is ran by like some 92-year-old Marine vet that this is last year running it. Now he's got a 70-year-old buddy that's going to be taking over, but he made it after he got out. He made a killing in the real estate market, and now he's turning over a lot of his multi-domain properties over to homeless veterans. So yet another good cause. So the reason I said I would come back to the Veterans Community Housing Coalition. So the way this works is you go to the website, you can either select which charity you want to give to or whatnot. There is no board of directors. There's nothing of that. Every penny, every part of your donation goes straight to these charities. So if you select, I want to give $25 to Pause for Heroes, it goes to Pause for Heroes. If you want it to go to Glenn Jacobs charity, it goes straight there. Now, the great part about it is after they close out Operation Close Air Support, they basically transfer the money right away to those charities. Last year, when they cut the check and gave it to there's so many of them, to the Veterans Community Housing Coalition, when they gave that check to them, they went and got 3 female veterans and their children out of a homeless shelter and into a home the minute the check cleared. Wow. That's how quickly these charities are impacting veterans' lives. So, not saying you have to, but by all means, please keep in mind there are a lot of vets out there struggling right now, and please, please, please consider donating to these great causes that have a direct impact on veterans that are struggling. So, again, thank you in advance, and thank you for letting me take this time to talk about this stuff. So,
Yeah.
Matt, thoughts?
Well, I think what we ought to do is when we post this tonight, I think we should throw at least that link that links to all the other charities. I think we should link that in the description. So that way, if you want to reference that website, we'll put it in the description tonight. And if you see it, and then I might also throw it in the shorts as well. So you might see those in some of the shorts. I'll throw that link in as well. So great causes. I always like to see. We do have a homeless vet problem. I mean, we definitely have a veteran suicide problem. So I hope YouTube doesn't strike us for the S word, but I mean, it's a real thing. So, something that's going to be taken care of. It's very important.
It's important.
So, and thank you for putting that out. And if I'm sure everybody that listens knows somebody that's a vet or knows of a vet that might need help. So, yeah, please check out those causes. Again, Sean wasn't told to do this. Sean did this all on his own through research. He's passionate about it, so he's not getting any endorsement from anybody or encouragement from anybody. It's just something that he had laid on his heart that he wanted to share with you all. And again, Veterans Day is in about 3 weeks or so. So it's not even. Yeah, it's 3 weeks. So we'll be talking more about it. So, but yeah, most of your veterans causes do not have a high overhead. So vast majority of those charities' monies will go right to the essentials.
And that's why these ones are special, because they go straight. They have a straight direct impact to the vets themselves. So honestly, once they receive that money, you're impacting lives. And that's great. That's just great work. And like, I'm a sucker for it. My kids will tell you, like, even tailgating, somebody comes around like, oh, we're raising money. What are you raising money for? Vets. Like, all right, so here's $20. Give me my little flag pin.
Yep.
And like,
another great charity that we give to Tunnel to Towers every month too. So that's another great charity, especially with Veterans Day coming up. Not only is it for veterans, but it's also for all first responders. So another great charity. But again, I think it's time to get into the wrestling business. And
for sure.
But that was the most important thing. This couple of days ago, we lost Mo from Men on a Mission. So if you remember the cartoonish early 90s, I got to see Men on a Mission at 93 Survivor Series dressed up as Doinks. I don't think it was a 5-star Meltzer Classic because it was them and the Bushwhackers against the Samoans or the Islanders or the whatever. Yeah, it was that forgettable. So anyway, rest in peace to Mo.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll just kick it off, man. Let's go into first off, the last 2 days, SmackDown and Raw, so solid. So solid. Under some challenging conditions too. We'll get into it when we start talking about Seth, but like really solid stuff. So we kick off, Cody Rhodes comes out. He basically came out to be the hype man, in his opening segment on SmackDown. He kind of threw some whatever at Seth, and then he's just like, I'm focused on Saturday night's main event. And I kind of went through this segment and I realized I have a Cody problem right now, and it's not a good one, which is I'm just not energized by Cody. Like I appreciate him, but I'm not energized by him, if that makes any sense, right?
I can see where you're coming from. You don't get psyched when you see him. Like Randy Orton comes out every time you come out, like you're psyched to see Randy. I'm not getting that as much with Cody. Of course, the end of the show, I kind of liked Cody's attitude. Still, we'll get into it, but I just like Cody needs an edge. And when Cody is mad or he's pissed off or he's been wrong and he's trying to right the wrong, and there's realism involved, then he's good. But when he's just the company guy, basically without having the pom-poms, waving the pom-poms and all that, I don't think he even feels comfortable with it. Like he tries hard.
But I think that I think my big problem is right now he needs to be in a meaningful storyline. And I actually wrote it down that I think that if anybody is being hurt by the 3-week PLE turn and burn right now, it's him, because we're not The reason him and Roman was so big, bigger than big, was everything mattered. And that was a long build. And even when he lost in the one WrestleMania and he's trying to build himself back up, every step in the way, every step in the road, you were like, he has to do this. This is the only way he can get there. This is how it has to be. He has to, hard times. And like, that's what you really wanted out of him. And he doesn't have that right now. And I don't want to put it all on him because they just haven't given him like a heel's heel, right? Like, they haven't given him somebody to really, he can only fight who he's supposed to fight. But I think right now he doesn't have the heel's heel. And like, so it's just kind of he's going from opponent to opponent. And we knew there was going to be kind of a laissez-faire thing because he was working with he had to work with Seth for Crown Jewel. So, I'm not here to say he's washed, but I'm just saying that he's not exciting me right now. You know what I mean? So, nothing bad, just
No,
not
I
there.
think as we get towards the build up towards after Saturday Night Main Event, the big focus towards that. But as we start looking towards Survivor Series, and then, I mean, what 8 weeks after Survivor Series, we start the road to WrestleMania. So I mean, we're heading that direction. So I think business will pick up, and
I think so too. And
I think Cody will pick up. So
I
mean,
think that the road
we
to
went through this
WrestleMania is where we get Randy.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do. That's a money match.
All right, so after that, we get Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Sol Ruka, and Zarya. And I'll tell you what, they held their own. And
yep, they did.
I'm going to give some credit where credit's due, which is Alexa and Charlotte right now, as well as Becky Lynch, are putting people over. They're really giving the younger talent a little bit something. We'll get into it with Becky's match because there's a little more there that I want to talk about. But like, those older vets are really giving back right now. Like, you can literally see that they're given opportunities. I'm not saying Sol Ruka and Zarya, I'm butchering her name, but
Zarya. Yep.
Yeah, are not like great, but you could tell they were a little hesitant early in the match. Like, they were really kind of like, not going through the motions, but you could kind of see the hesitation.
They didn't want to screw anything up. I think they felt a little bit of the pressure. So with that, and you and I talked about this, and I told you, I said I think Sol Ruka is going to drop her NXT title Saturday night at the pay-per-view. And I think you're going to see Sol Ruka and Zarya full time now on the main roster. I think, as they get a couple of matches on TV, and if they do get to work a few of the house shows or live events, whatever, the house shows, because they still do have house shows, just not as many. But that's where I'd be throwing those guys on the house shows as well, just to get them those repetitions in the ring and that comfort with the main roster talent.
Well, also keep in mind too, I've talked about this in the past. They are WWE under Triple H has been very deliberate in slow rolling most of their talent. Some people they strap a rocket ship to, like Stephanie Bakir.
Yeah.
But like most of their younger talent, they'll slow roll them. Drips and drabs, then you start seeing them more. And then like right after like WrestleMania, when the year resets, it's like, boom, young talent all over the place. So don't get overly excited. We know the talent's there because honestly, most of the people that they bring up to kind of dip their toes in and show you from NXT, they're all solid. It actually makes me happy that I don't watch NXT because I look at them without a bias, right? I take them at face value when I see them come up to the main roster, and that's what I really like about them.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been kind of tempted the last couple of weeks to start watching NXT because they've also had some involvement with TNA, and the Hardys have been there, and it's just kind of like and guys and gals from the main roster go down to NXT and vice versa. But yeah, it's just like I don't want to like watch it for like 2 weeks and then not be able to watch it for 4. And everybody's like, well, you could just tape it and watch it later. But then like I try to do that, but then
There's only so much
life
bandwidth,
happens.
man. There's only
Exactly. So maybe now and again I'll try to catch a PLE. Like maybe if I got nothing going on and it's supposed to rain all day down here Saturday, because I think is Halloween Havoc this weekend? Is it this? Is this
I got to look at the date, but I know it's coming up. So yeah, Halloween Havoc is coming up.
Yeah, if there's an NXT show this weekend, maybe I'll check it out. It's just tough because like now we watch all the whenever they air AAA, we watch that. We're broadening our horizon. Neither one of us can talk
today. My fix.
Yeah,
give me my fix.
Yeah,
but yeah,
we have to
give me my AAA.
Yeah, but anyway, I thought it was good. The thing I took away from this match, the finish was awesome because like Flair went for the figure 4, and I forget who she put it on. Was it Ruka or was it Zari? I forget whoever she put it on was fighting it, and then like Flair got off the figure 4. I think she dropped like another knee on the leg or something, went right back into the figure 4, was able to bridge up into the figure 8. And that's one thing on SmackDown and Raw. There was like a lot of good wrestling sequences and finishes throughout Friday and Monday. There was a wrestling sequence that happened on Raw. It was, what's it? Sean Ross Sapp or whatever, the guy you follow, actually commented on it from Raw last night. So they're working on the wrestling game. It's not going to be just all high spots like it was a few years ago. They're going back to the old school catch as catch can pro wrestling. They're doing a good job of mixing the old school pro wrestling with the modern day flair. So really cool.
You appreciate it now, right? Like, because like, all right, I know we said we weren't going to talk about this. I'm not going to talk about the fish tank, but I sent you a clip. So AEW had a thing over the weekend, and like there was like a 10-15 second clip of like what looked like pretty devastating moves that they just climbed out of and countered right away. And it's just like I have such a hard time with it, man. Such a hard time.
I think it was like a modified Canadian or Mexican destroyer. I guess a destroyer is the same.
Yeah, but he like flipped, landed on his feet,
and then gave it to the other guy.
Yeah,
and the other guy knows sold it. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's I have problems with that. And like he was kind of teetering on the fence for a hot minute, doing the same stuff.
No,
and like it's like no, we just want and the WWE is showing you. Well, the good news is, especially with the younger talent coming up from NXT, they're getting taught right? Like I've noticed their proficiency on the mat in and of itself, like in all the call-ups since like Carmelo Hayes and everybody, right? Like they've been solid, like really, really solid. So like I really do appreciate that because it's like I don't know what button got hit, but even the storytelling in ring lately for all the matches has been relatively really good. Yeah, you'll get a clunker here and there, but like
but they're selling better too.
Great.
Like Fakir last night, I'm not trying to get ahead, but she was like acting like her arm hurt, and she was selling the arm throughout the match.
Yeah,
and didn't forget about it.
Trying to shake it out.
Yeah, that little stuff like that, like psychology, selling, but not overselling where it looks ridiculous. Like they still some people have a problem with that, but the wrestling has been a lot better, and I like that they're kind of getting back to the basics a little bit and reaching back and using that because they don't just make. When you start no selling and you're doing big finishes and everybody's no selling, like it's crap. Like only a few people could get away with no selling. Like Hogan would after he got beat up, he would no sell something and Hulk up. But that was Hulk. Road Warrior Hawk. Like early in the match, someone give him a pile driver and he'd no sell it. But only Hawk would do that. And if I had a neck the size of Hawk, I could probably no sell a real pile driver myself. But like when you get on a show and like everybody's no selling everybody's stuff, it's just ridiculous. It looks like teenagers like play wrestling out in the backyard. Well, they probably sell better.
The big moves you want them to sell because you want to have that. Ooh, they hit that. moment. And when you don't no sell it, you're just like, meh, it was cool. All right. It was kind of special. You know, the
Yeah,
flippity flappity guys. Like, there's just a bunch of them out there, and that's fine. Like, if that's your bag, like, go for it. But it's just, I like when they sell. I like even minor moves when they sell it, right? Like, just make it worthwhile, and it improves the storytelling in the ring. But speaking of storytelling, so Carmelo Hayes gets his one up on Miz, who looked like he was coming out for the U.S. Open Challenge, and I mean, there's not much to say about it. You knew it was coming, and until they blow this off and Carmelo Hayes moves past the Miz, Miz right now is the gatekeeper for Carmelo Hayes, like taking off out of orbit, right? Like that's kind of my 2 cents on it. So I think if he shows his stuff with Miz, I think everybody will have the confidence and be like, go forth and do great things and win a title. So he's on the cusp, but he's got to
yeah.
get past Miz.
I think he's going to be a face because he's been acting very facey, like just the
Well,
way he's
and
acting.
that's fine. He can be an arrogant face for all I care. Like it's nothing bad about it. But
Yeah, no,
then we get into the match of the night, Matt. Ilya Dragunov is back and jacked.
yeah.
That dude put on some muscle against Sami Zayn in the U.S. Open Champion, U.S. Open Challenge, and guess what? There was a title change on SmackDown, and it was awesome.
And
And
Sean loves title changes. He gets excited about any title change, even the 24/7 Route I-95 title. No, you didn't like that one? Joking. No, no.
but when you have one of your four major championships get switched up, that is huge.
Big deal.
Huge. It is absolutely huge. And especially with Sammy losing and all that other stuff. But the match in and of itself was amazing. And Ilya Dragunov looked great.
Yeah. No, it was
So
excellent, excellent. And as great as it was, fortunately, I got to say, it was not the match of the weekend. We'll get to that when we talk about Raw. But this was definitely second best and a close second. But yeah, it was really good. I get why the solo came out towards the end. I was just enjoying it being two guys in a match with no distractions.
it was, though. He didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do
Solo
it. He
just
came
came out on the ramp.
Yeah,
He just came out on the ramp.
I
So
know.
that's on Sammy.
Yep.
So, like, and it's great. It's great. And, like, it actually makes sense that Solo would come out. Like, everything set aside, it makes sense that Solo would come out. Why does it make sense? Because Sammy took Solo's title. That is Solo's title. So it makes sense. And I love when things come together. In the words of the A Team, I love it when a plan comes together. Right? Like, I love that. And I love that there is some continuity there. That would be who I'd be harassing if I was Solo. I'd be like, you got my title. So it's just great. So after that match, we get a promo from Selena Vega and Aleister Black, and much to uninformed selves, we found out that they're actually married in real life. We're like, wait, are they really married? And you texted me, and I was like, I already looked it up. Yeah, they are. Kind of a funny moment. And this is where I count on my daughter for this crap because, she has like the 7 degrees of separation for Kevin Bacon for any like wrestling relationship. It's just like, no, granted, most of that centers around the Bellas, but like, she'll be like, no, she was with him and then he went to him. I'm like, okay, whatevs. Like every now and again, I find out about a wrestling couple because it's all an incestual circle, right? But you're on the road with all these people, so I get it. You're around them all the time. Yeah.
I
But
did.
like it's funny. It's
I like
funny though that
I like Vegas'
it's
new
like
look because she's like
they
she's
got
gone darker. She's matching her husband. I like that they acknowledged it on TV because, like, we got Seth and Becky, but like now we got Aleister Black and Vegas, so that kind of makes them both together, like individually and collectively, more important because now they're they're a thing. They're a group, however small they are. But and now that Vega helped Aleister Black put Damian Priest out, so I have a feeling Priest is off TV probably for a few weeks.
That's fine. He could use a reset, a recharge, not a reset. His character's fine. It's just he needs a reset.
Yeah.
He needs actually somebody else to go after. Like this, I talk about it every effing week. Like some of these recycled like rivalries, I'm just like, bro.
But they only had 2 matches, but there's like brawls here and there.
They've been nip and tuck for a while, ever since like R-Truth stuff and stuff like that. So I was just kind of like,
I still think when Priest comes back, they'll have a blow off to the feud. It'll be like whatever city they're in, it'll be some street fight. So if they do the Survivor Series, it'll be like a San Diego street fight, which I don't know what that would be.
Running around in shorts and a freaking wife beater because the weather's so nice. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah.
Like, so after that,
I don't know. They beat each other with beach toys and, whatever. I don't know.
After that, we get the Wyatt 6 and they confront the MFT. We get another face-to-face. And, like, this one was a little different and interesting. So you get Uncle Howdy on the screen, kind of talking his jazz. You get the rest of the Wyatt 6 showing up. You get Nikki Cross yet again squaring off against Solo. And I'm just like, I love this. And honestly, if this is the Survivor Series match, which MFT has 5, so Wyatt's would have to add 1, I couldn't tell you who the 1 is. I was actually wandering around work today, like in the back of my head, trying to think, like, who would be the 1? Who would make sense? And I don't have an answer yet, and it's really bothering me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, do they have to permanently be there? How do you find somebody that can operate with the Wyatt 6's creepiness and jive with it? You know what I mean? And the problem is MFT is like messing with so many people right now. They messed up Rey Fenix. They messed up Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? They messed up Shinsuke Nakamura. Like right now, maybe Shinsuke you could get away with because he's a little weird. But like, I don't know who you would put with them for the 5th. And I know you say you're like, you can do 4-on-4, but you're going to want the whole MFT in there. So it has to be 5-on-5. So it's like,
you brought up an interesting point with Shinsuke. Because what's the Wyatts basically? The Island of Misfit Toys, right? They're the castaways. Shinsuke's been kind of, I don't want to say mistreated in WWE, but he hasn't really had anything for like going on 2 or 3 years, like nothing really big. And Shinsuke's kind of like weird and eccentric, so I think there's a possibility that you could work with Shinsuke with the Wyatts because he's kind of weird. He wears weird outfits. He's worn the masks and stuff. Yeah, he come to the ring wearing the masks and stuff.
He just went back to all his original stuff though, so like I don't know if you put him in the fold. However, excellent. I don't know what Austin Theory's injury is, but we haven't seen him in a while. Wouldn't it be great if he just came out demented as F and he ends up getting wrapped in with them for like good? That would be fun. Like,
well,
so you have Austin Theory.
I heard a rumor though that Theory was going to go to the Vision until Seth got hurt, and I don't know if that's changed, but that would be kind of interesting to see Theory go to the Wyatts. But like, what do you do with him? Because he's in really good shape.
He is kind of the arrogant a-hole, but you could change that.
I'm talking about his look though too, because he's like he's like in shape. He's a good looking guy.
You don't have to be a chunky monkey to be in the freaking Wyatts.
But none of the Wyatts are going to be on the cover of like GQ or Men's Health, where Austin Theory,
Matt, I know who the 5th is. You're not going to be happy about it, but I know who the 5th is. I know who I would bring back to be the 5th. There's one that's a perfect answer, and right now he's getting big and fat on his new TV show.
Strowman?
Yes. Why not? He already has ties to the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
It just struck my head. Like, how perfect would it be? They release him.
Didn't he get?
But he's still doing WWE. He got released. He's still doing work for WWE because he's still under the name of Braun Strowman, right? So he's out there just running around the country eating all the food on the menu, which is nuts, but whatevs. So, yeah, interesting for a
That is
fifth, and it
that,
would make perfect sense.
and you know what? He does with him being with the Wyatts, he wouldn't have to be relied on to do as much because I know like he's got limitations, probably because of his size and his age and his skill set. But that might work because like we like
Well,
to
think
say
about it
less
this
is
way.
more. You put him with the Wyatts, he's not the spotlight's just not on um, Braun Strowman. It's on the whole Wyatts. So yeah, he won't be out there naked and afraid. Under the spotlight, he'll be
Well,
with the
he can
rest.
go back to being a powerhouse too.
Right.
So that's
All he
why
has
I
to do is
said,
just throw
like,
people around, bounce people off the cage. Sure, why not? That would be
that would
interesting.
be a.
To surprise you, I would actually like be down with that.
I'm not saying it's happening because I don't know if it's even possible right now. I just think I just find it coincidental and like, yeah, yeah, tinfoil hat time.
But Shinsuke would be fun too. But yeah, they just kind of went.
Shinsuke would be, but I think if you do Braun Strowman, you can just keep him there. What I mean, outside of Gracie and Loomis, the rest haven't wrestled in God knows how long.
Yeah,
Yeah, Eric Rowan hasn't done who. You know what I mean? Like, not that I'm knocking him; he doesn't need to. But there hasn't been direct confrontations outside of like on and off like tag match here or there or interference. So like, and with the Wyatts, just as we were saying, less is more, right? Like you want it to be. That's one of those situations where you want them to be kind of an attraction. And I think I texted you this too, like, or maybe it's in my notes. I don't know. But like one of the drawbacks to the Wyatts is the PLE is going to be in San Diego, and I have a feeling it's going to be light out when it's, unless they do it. I don't know what time of day they're doing it, right? So if it's 6 o'clock here, it's what, 3 o'clock there, four
yeah,
o'clock there,
yeah.
or 2 o'clock there. So the Wyatts are best when it's dark, when you can cut the lights, and when you can just take in that vibe. So
Well,
whatevs,
that's your
but it
show.
would be interesting.
That's your show closer. Because guess what happens between now and Survivor Series? Daylight savings time, so that's going to get dark an hour earlier. And yeah, it's either 6 o'clock or 6 or 7 on Thanksgiving weekend Saturday night. But it's going to be a long. I think it's 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. I think. So yeah, you by about 5:30, 6 o'clock, it'll be getting dark. It'll be, and then by the time they do the War Games, remember when Punk helped out the War
Roman.
Games with Roman, but they announced it ahead of time. If you're going to bring Braun Strowman or Shinsuke to be the fifth Wyatt for that, I would just make it a mystery partner. So that way
I
nobody,
agree.
and then like when the match happens, whoever it is comes out with the Wyatts. So it's a surprise.
Yep, he comes out with the Wyatts, got a mask on. Like, well, yeah,
The only thing
you make
about
him wear the mask.
Braun Strowman, yeah, you can put him in a mask, but there's not too many guys that are 6'7", 350 pounds.
I know, but from a commentary standpoint, like, oh my god, it's, he takes off the mask. You'll just do the, oh my god, it's Braun Strowman. Like, we all know it's him. You know what I mean? But like, it'd be like taking the mask off El Grande Americano. Like, it was Ludwig Kaiser all the time. Like, okay, you
Yeah.
know, we're not shocked by that. Like, he still walks like Ludwig Kaiser. Like I've come to peace with the gimmick, and I don't know if I like his cronies, but like I've
Oh,
come to peace with the gimmick,
he's
but
hilarious.
like I'm okay with it. I feel like he gets to do everything that Ludwig Kaiser as a character never got to do. So it's like, okay, cool. I can get behind that. I like that. So,
Well,
but
I will talk more about Americano when we talk about Raw. But the one thing I've noticed with him, he's having a lot of fun with that gimmick
yeah, he
and that
is.
character. So,
I
and it
just want
shows.
Chad Gable to come back. I want Chad Gable to come back, and I want him to come back as be like, I am El Grande Americano, and he's like, who the f are you? And El Grande's like, who the f are you? And like, you get the Spider-Man pointing thing. I know they tried to do it with the other two, but like, it'd be perfect if Chad Gable came back like, and or you have Chad Gable come back as Chad Gable, and then you have him like, you took my shtick, like, have him slip up every now and again. You can't be him because yeah, about that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it plays into Gable's wheelhouse. Gable is a trip. So, like, I love that dude. And he's great in the ring, too. So, after that, we get a backstage with Keanu James and Tiffany Stratton, whatever.
Eh,
I'm still kind of meh on Tiffany Stratton right now. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Like, I'm not vested. After that, we get Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garza. Like,
good
okay.
match. Good match.
It was a
Fun.
good match. It's just, I don't know. It didn't excite me. All right. So now, Jacob Fatu is all busted up in the bed. Drew comes out. Fatu's music hits. No Fatu. And then we get a backstage shot. We see Fatu all jacked up.
Yeah. Chiclets on the ground and everything.
Else. So, real life, it looks like he's got to get some kind of dental surgery. I don't know. It's something dental is everything that I'm seeing out there. And, like, they think it'll put him out for a month. So, it doesn't feel like a root canal. Like, you could walk off a root canal after, like, a week. So, like, it's like, I know I'm saying that very glib. So maybe it is like wisdom teeth, a tooth getting surgically extracted or some craziness. It's the little things that WWE does at times that's actually pretty good. So they made it look like his mouth got busted apart. So now when he goes to have dental work, everybody's like, well, obviously he's having dental work. He got his teeth knocked out of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was
So,
really,
like,
it was cool.
It was well done. And then you touched on something when it came to them too, which was like, you liked the camera work that they went back
After
to show him all.
after the break, yeah. That was cool. Because normally, like I said, something would happen backstage and then it's just forgotten about unless the announcers like say, oh yeah, we just got notice from the back that so and so's being taken to the hospital, or I'm sorry, medical facility.
Local medical facility.
I can feel the wrath of Vince McMahon for saying hospital. So right before that, Fraxium was backstage and then DIY was talking to him. And I'm not going to talk about what they talked about, but on our show last week, we were talking about how we haven't seen you brought up how we haven't seen the tag division. And I said, well, my theory was they're letting it cool off and they're going to start bringing it back. Well, they're starting to ramp up the tag division again. So I think it was good. They gave it a good little like timeout, let things kind of cool off. They did so it could have very easily have gone stale with the tag team division. Not with me because I love that stuff, but overall, so I think pulling them off TV for a little bit. Now it's like you see them and you're like,
it's
it's like Fraxium's back,
go.
yeah. DIY, who I love, is back. Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns, I like them, but they don't get me excited like Fraxium does. DIY is probably, other than the Street Profits, DIY is probably my favorite tag team.
I like Fraxium too, though.
Yeah,
like,
I do
actually,
too.
one of my favorite tag teams is looking for a name right now. Check social media. AJ Styles and freaking Dragon Lee are trying to find out one.
AJ Lee.
So
call it. Oh, wait, that's already taken.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't steal CM Punk's jokes. Like, that was CM Punk's crap. We'll get into him later on too. But like, all right. So like, I think my initial reaction when you and I were talking about this whole thing, it was like, first off, I was like so confused as to what the hell was going on, right? Like, mentally, I could not wrap my head around, why are we doing this? Like, you advertised Fatu, you said Fatu was going to be wrestling Drew. If Fatu comes out and loses, you're just like, cool, slipped on a banana peel. Drew did unscrupulous crap, whatever, right? So Fatu, getting all busted up. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Obviously, there's a real world issue. Fine. Got it.
And they just wanted Fatu to be on TV in his hometown. That was.
So this is where I show my age, Matt. This is where I show my age. So
I'm
back in the 80s, when I was a youngin', very young. Not like you, who's very old. No, back in the 80s when I was young, one of the biggest TV things out there was Who Shot JR? Now, it all ended up being a total line of bullshit, but we'll negate that for now. But the whole premise, that was what? Dynasty, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Dynasty.
Dallas.
Dallas. I
And
knew
that
it
was
started with the D.
what? That was like 83, 84, 85, somewhere early to mid
Yeah.
80. But that thing
But the
sold
whole thing was
magazines.
trying to figure out who shot JR. And right now, we actually have that going on with who did this to Jacob Fatu. So, I had a couple of candidates. You tell me if you think yes, no, or maybe. Drew McIntyre.
I'm gonna put him as a maybe because if it was Drew doing it, it'd be too obvious. So that's a maybe at best.
I have him as a no. Because I think Drew's a lot of things, but Drew may speak in hyperbole, but Drew doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Drew spins the
True
truth.
story. Yeah.
There's a different his character spins the truth. He comes out here and tells you what, his version of the truth, but he doesn't lie to you. So I don't think it's Drew. Drew said he didn't do it. I'm going to give Drew the benefit of the doubt. Cody.
I brought that up to you, and I think Cody's is a definite maybe, where Drew is a could be maybe. I think it could possibly be. I'm going to say definitely maybe for.
I will say a maybe minus for Cody for me. I don't think so. I think he's a maybe minus, and here's why. Unless you're planning on turning Cody heel or some form of a heel, it doesn't make any effing sense for the character, right? So you have to make it worthwhile for the character, and I don't think you're doing that with that. All right. Randy Orton.
I'm just saying that in the hope that they do turn Cody heel because I think a heel Cody could be like awesome and a
Not
face
anytime soon.
But Randy, totally can see Randy doing it. Totally.
He's suspect number one right now.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
With you or
I had he's the most logical. And then I have Braun Breaker. But I think the problem with my Braun Breaker thing kind of falls apart because my whole premise behind it being Braun Breaker was with Seth out to give that veteran mentorship. Drew, who has paid props to the Seth and the Vision in the past, like I like what they're doing over there. Drew would be a natural fit for the Vision. And I kind of went down that road. Like, it's kind of a teaser, right? Like, so Drew's actually already involved, but he got plausible deniability. He can still tell the truth. He didn't do it because Braun Breaker did it. Or, you know what I mean? But I think you and I were talking on the phone about this. I was like, one of my biggest pet peeves with all these assaults in the back, like, unless they're just knocked unconscious and lose all memory, they have to know who the F it is. You know what I mean? Like, you have to know.
Unless Fatu
we
got
went
jumped.
through this with Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, well, Liv and freaking Raquel were in the photo. Like, they were around there, and they all got blamed, and it turned out to be Naomi. So it's like, she didn't know who was punching her in the face. Like,
With Fatu, though, you could have got away with Fatu being attacked from behind and then, like, thrown into that whatever that scaffolding was. Oh, who knows? But you got anybody else? Because I have somebody in mind.
I know who I don't want, and it's anybody from MFT. I don't want Jacob Fatu anywhere near anybody from MFT.
No, because they already got enough going on. What about a guy named Logan Paul? Could Logan Paul have done it for Drew McIntyre?
That one would be also a very good candidate. He would be like suspect 2 right behind Randy Orton.
Because the whole thing with him and Cena was about respect. And Logan Paul said he got some respect, and now I think he's trying to show Drew respect because Drew's called him out on it before. So I think by him taking out Fatu, he's doing it out of respect for Drew. So possibly.
Yeah, the whole handle your business thing. I think what really threw me off with this whole thing, right? Cody comes out snarling, snaring, pissed off at Drew about everything, about life and everything. And like,
and I was like
okay,
like
cool.
That. Yep.
I do too. But like, I appreciated it. But then I was like, he's in street clothes. And like, when I say he's in street clothes, Like he's in his suity suit with his hey, look, I was in the military for a hot minute. You know what the worst thing to walk in? Dress shoes. You
Yes.
know what the worst thing to walk in anywhere, even if there's a little bit of moisture? Dress shoes. So like you're slipping and sliding all over the place. So the fact that he was like in like dressed up regalia and like they still had him go and he went a hot minute. That brawl lasted. And Cody just being like F you and like cracking him with the belt was also a really nice touch.
So
But we've talked about this in the past.
it was
Cody had
it was it
heel
a match because they said Cody got disqualified, right? Because
Yes, yes. The official ruling is Drew McIntyre defeated Cody Rhodes via disqualification. So that is the official. So it was a match, but like the fact that Cody was he just wanted to beat the crap out of Drew, and
yeah,
like
I mean the
is what it
the
is.
brawl was okay. I mean it was for what it was. I mean it was okay, but like man, like the announcers sounded confused. I was confused. Like I don't know if that was
Yeah.
made to confuse us on purpose, but I'm just like
Well, they
I was
started
kind of like you, like
brawling, and the ref's in the ring, like, right. You know what I mean? And like, I was really trying to figure out if this was like some lift and shift, or if this was planned because Fatu was going to be out. I don't know, man. Like, it's so confusing. It was fine. It was fine. Cody going toe to toe for like shit. They had to go for like 15 minutes at a
yeah,
minimum.
yeah. They
You
went a
know,
while because
they
I
went
mean
a hot minute.
they had 15 or 20 set aside for the Fatu match, and that's about when Drew came out. So yeah, it went main event length
It's
time.
leading me. It's leading me to believe that this will end up being a stipulation match at uh Saturday night's main event. I don't know. Because Saturday night's main event is going to be real interesting this time around because it'll be the first one strictly on Peacock. And I'm hoping that we don't get the vanilla network TV version of wrestling that makes me want to vomit.
And I hope it's
So,
not constricted to just 2 hours. If they wanted to run 210, 215, or even 230, that'd be cool too. So I mean, it's Saturday. It's
let it
Saturday.
go.
It's
Let it
Saturday.
go.
It's Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be drinking and watching. Like, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
But, all right. Anything else on SmackDown, Matt?
No, that's the longest we talked about SmackDown in a hot minute. So
It was a good one. It
it
was a
was
good
good.
one, though.
It was good.
All right. So we kick off Raw. Okay. Raw kicks off, and then Adam Pearce is in the ring. I don't want to talk about Adam Pearce yet. You'll
I
know
know.
when to talk about Adam Pearce.
I know when you're going to want to talk about Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce kicks off the show. Basically got to address the Seth thing. Vision shows up. Roll into the ring. Braun Breaker's carrying Seth's belt. Say please, give me the belt. All this stuff. Nice little look for Braun Breaker carrying the belt.
I texted you
And
that. Even my wife was like, I looked at my wife. I said, "Hey, how do you think he looks with the belt?" She goes, "He looks great. Like that belt and him, they're made for each other. It's going to happen."
oh yeah, we all know it's going to happen.
I know, but it just you got a taste of it Monday night, and what I saw, it looked like it fit.
So let's talk about Paul Heyman for a minute. This is going to be a Paul Heyman show because, for Raw, because he's kind of sprinkled all the way throughout. And I think that you pointed out that, like, Paul Heyman has done a great job of giving you the why. But I think his why comes with a caveat. Look, there's no doubt in my mind Braun Breaker went into business for himself, right? And like, so Heyman's got to spin that now because he's being slimy now, right? Like, usually he's conniving. This go around with the Vision, he feels slimy. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he feels slimy. So like him coming out and being like, he basically like, talked down Seth Rollins, called him a bum shoulder bitch, which really leads me to believe it's a legit injury, by the way. And I think he's already had the surgery, but don't quote me on that. There's no confirmation, so I'm kind of like, but calling him a bum shoulder bitch and all this other stuff, it's like, okay, you know. But even Pierce admitted that he knew Seth was dinged up after Crown Jewel. So him saying that and then being like, but we'll never know, like, how quickly he could have came back because you did all your crap. Like, that all leads me to believe, like, it was a legit injury because that means WWE Medical looked at it, right? And not like before, and it's not storyline. So they're giving you the why he's gone, right? Which is fine.
And I think there was
Like,
a
we
good
all
way.
knew.
It was kind of a good way of him saying that. Like, yeah, he was dinged up, but you didn't give us a chance to evaluate him. You just went and destroyed him, and now because of you, he's out for whatever
Yeah.
6 months.
So we now know that he's legit hurt, in my mind. I could be wrong. I could be proven wrong, but like that's a lot of people in on the kayfabe stuff. And like Pierce saying, so Pierce, see, before Pierce was like, you never got checked by our medical. Pierce coming out and saying that he's hurt leads me to believe WWE medical checked him out. They knew there was an injury, and then it was exasperated by getting speared and tsunami. So, like, I think we can woosah and accept the fact that Seth legit got hurt. Seth legit got shoulder surgery, and it was just bad luck, man. He did that coast to coast so well, and he just came down wrong. He just came down wrong. He pivoted a little bit and came full body weight down. And it's just unfortunate. But that's fine. So Seth, we got that out. And the best part about it is because Seth faked an injury before, you still got people going, So it's good stuff. But Heyman's so good at the spin. But like I said, he's slimy, right? He didn't know because like when he turned on Punk and when he turned on Roman, that was planned. He was in on it. He knew. The only person that knew that Seth was getting taken out was Braun Breaker.
Yep.
He was the only one because Bronson Reed didn't know, and Paul Heyman's like, "Oh my God, what have you done at Crown Jewel or at the Raw after Crown Jewel?" So like, we know. Yeah, you know what I mean. But we'll talk about it more later. But like, yeah, Heyman's just he's slimy Heyman right now.
Is.
Like he's in survival mode. He's gonna tell you anything and everything you want to hear right now. So yeah.
Paul's going to start running out of people to manage if he keeps double crossing him.
Well, I don't think he double crossed Seth. Like that's my whole point.
Right. No, I think
he was like, I got to get with him now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't have that buffer anymore.
Right. And it was pretty good how they talked about it too, with how he brought up how he really didn't need Seth and all that. But yeah, it's a good opening segment. I think Liv Morgan's coming back very soon. We had a hint of that in the backstage with the Judgment
Would that
Day.
be the googly eye freaking Roxanne Perez with Dom?
Oh, Dom, it'll be fine. It's okay, Dom. Dom, it's okay. Yeah, okay.
Well, just that, and like I put in my notes, it's like this is the slowest voting off of an island or out of a faction that has ever occurred in W. We all know he's getting the boot. Like him coming back after last week, which brilliant, by the way. Like, why am I always defending? You know what? You're right. Finn and JD are going to defend, and it's like it's such a shame because they're so effing talented. But we get this match. It's AJ Lee, Dragon Lee, holy crap, AJ Styles, Dragon Lee. I cannot do this. Like I always mix and match.
Neither can Joe Tessitore. He calls AJ Styles AJ Lee a few times.
So you get them and Finn Balor and JD McDonough, and like I'm just like Finn and JD are so effing good wrestlers.
Yeah,
JD is phenomenal. Yeah. Like I love watching him wrestle. Like, and he sells so hard, and he puts everything. I'm gonna tell you, Matt. He might if he wrestled more, because this is only the second title defense for those tag titles in like 140 days or some crap. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, they were bad as New Day were.
Yeah, and I got in my notes. I'm glad the titles changed hands. I'm glad everything went down because obviously Dragon Lee and AJ Styles win, but it was a great match. It was so good.
This is the match of the weekend for me. This, as good as Dragunov and Sami Zayn was, I thought this was even better. It was really good.
JD McDonough's breakup of the pin that AJ had on Finn Balor that was like 2.99999999999 seconds from like being a 3 count. I was like, man, even Roman Reigns can't cut it that close. That was like you could have slid barely a piece of paper under the ref's hand before that breakup happened, man. It was crazy. I was just like, oh, he got him here, and then like out of nowhere, here comes JD McDonough. I'm like, wow, that was super close, dude.
Yeah,
I love this match.
I didn't even write any notes down. I just put it was an incredible match, and I gave it and I never give out A pluses very often, but that was an A plus match for me. For me, I just thought everything was so good. So, and the title change always bumps up a grade anyway if the title change is done right. And I had a feeling that AJ and Dragon Lee might win the titles. I wasn't so sure about it happening last night until we get about halfway through the match, and I'm like, yep, they're going to swap. But it was cool, and I'm glad. Like AJ's had like an incredible couple of weeks. Like him and Cena Cena had the show stealer at WrestlePalooza. Then he got his farewell in Japan, and now he's like now he's tag team champion. So he's had a good couple of weeks.
So Busted Open, like it was Nick Nemeth today and Bully Ray, and like they were talking about this. You know, they're like, because everybody was kind of like, not to get ahead of ourselves, but everybody was kind of like, Jay, okay, you know, and like it's funny that you say that because like Nick Nemeth brought up the point, credit to him, that it would have made a lot of sense to have AJ Styles win that match because you're going into it thinking he already won the tag titles. There's no way he's going to win this. But they also were pontificating. They don't think AJ Styles and CM Punk have had a match ever.
Are you real in all those years? All the indies and stuff?
I don't think they really cross paths. I think I default to Busted Open. They know a hell of a lot more than Sean knows. So like I'll give them credit where credit's due, but like yeah, they said that they don't think that they've faced off, and I was like,
that's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. But like I don't want to get ahead of myself. So Usos continue their drama backstage, you know. The will they, won't they? Are we cool? No, we're not cool. Yeah, we kind of are cool. We're family. Woo, Vin Diesel. Family. You know, stuff. So, like, you know, is Jay becoming more like Roman? Can Jimmy talk him off the ledge? Blah, blah. I don't mind the storyline. It's actually intriguing. So don't take my like presentation of it. But like in this specific instance, I was just like, you're not bringing nothing new to the table.
Because we know he's not going heel. Between the entrance and the cricket commercials and all the other stuff, he's not going heel. So
that's true.
I think that takes away from it a little bit because, like, you kind of have an idea what the end result's going to be and that Jay's going to come to his senses.
But I think that's one of those instances where the story can actually overcome everything.
Yeah.
Right? In this specific instance, it's about the journey, right? I'll talk about it like later because like I have it in my notes, but you know, let's just move on. So we get Dom and Rusev. It was the thing. And honestly, the best thing I can tell you is Dom's heel work is incredible. Like his cheating, he's got the rolling out of the ring, the cheating, conniving, all the little stuff. He tried the ring hammer in his boot again. He gets the low blow and he gets out of it. Like at some point though, Rusev has to go over. I hate to say it that way, but like this is 2 now that he made Rusev look stupid. Right? We're getting to the point where you kind of gotta, you know, you gotta do the thing.
Yeah, because you don't want to have Rusev be like if they're going to have another match, of course, but you don't want Rusev to end up being a 3-time loser to Dominic. Because how are you going to be able to push this guy? You kind of killed,
especially when he's ragdolling him. He was ragdolling him the whole time, and like it was just like, bro.
Rusev was throwing some nice suplexes too. Like, man, he was tossing Dom.
It
Good.
was decent to
It was fun.
watch.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, it was just tough to compare it after you watched the tag team title match. I had a
well,
I had a feeling though, like, are they gonna let Dom drop the title, like with
I was
they
wondering
lose
it
back to
too.
back? I thought that was a possibility, but I think it made sense for Dom to hold on to it for a little bit longer. But yeah, the match was
Well,
solid.
it would have went one. It would have went one of two ways, right? Dom drops. He still goes to the back and goes, "I still got one title." You know what I mean?
Got a great
He's like, "I'm
idea.
still mega champion."
Got a great.
Or in this case, he goes back to the back and like, "You guys are slacking. I still got both my titles," and that's going to be the antithesis to boot his ass out of the Judgment Day.
I have an idea. I don't know if it's a good one or not, but this is how you can get Rusev. You get him the title, but you have Liv Morgan do something to cost Dom the title against Rusev. That's her return because she sees how. Not that she's going to team up with Rusev. They're not going to be like together, but I think that while Raquel and Roxanne have been a tag team and get along, you could have Raquel Rodriguez also be like, while everything's going on, she's still talking to Liv on the side and keeping her, letting her know what's up, keeping her current on stuff. That could be like her little information there. And she realizes, like, she could play the thing too, like, yeah, while I was hurt, Dom, you never called me, you never sent me a letter, you never did this. And it's, that whole, shtick. But then she can screw Dom over by helping Rusev win the title. Because it seems like,
yeah, possibly. I think Rusev's on a side quest right now. I think he's in a thing with Penta. So like I think Dom will go do AAA things, and then we'll probably honestly we'll probably get a triple threat match between the three of them.
That'd be cool.
And that's where he'll drop. So we'll see. But
I wouldn't do that Saturday night's main event. I'd do that Survivor Series
at a minimum. So after that, we get Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch gets herself disqualified, which is fine. And this leads into nobody thought Maxine was going to go over. So this match was two stories all in one. Story one, Maxine, hometown, gets to have a good showing. Story two is distraught wife after her husband got screwed, right? So part of that is that the Maxine part, we never thought she was going to win, and she still wins by DQ, which is fine, but she's gotten way better in the ring. Way better. Way. Most improved wrestler by far, period. End of story. Like, well, all right. It depends on what calendar year you're using. Like Raquel is definitely the most improved wrestler, but
you got to still throw Dom in there.
He
improved last year, but man, he's still like making leaps and bounds. But yeah, but no, her growth, Maxine Dupree's growth, and especially working with Becky Lynch. I mean, you see it match to match with Maxine now. Like, there's a big jump from match to match with her.
This is a credit, and I know people don't want to hear this. This is a credit to Becky. Becky gets called on to take on the hard cases. That is 2 matches now that she has made Maxine Dupree look amazing. Better than Bella. But like, and she did okay with that one too. But like, Becky does good work, man. Like, she really does do good work. And like, I got nothing bad about it. Like, Becky did great. And Maxine did great. You can see Maxine's improvement.
Yes.
And she had a couple of like counters in there that was like
the arm bar into the ankle lock. That was sweet. That was
smooth.
Yeah,
that was smooth.
A lot of people calling that out on social media. I think Sean Ross Sapp, am I pronouncing him right? Sean Ross Sapp. Yeah, he even alluded to it like directly. He thought it was fantastic. So that was a really cool. That's when we talk about the wrestling coming back. And like, I mean, it wasn't like an impact move, but it was just like, it was so smooth. It was pretty to watch.
It was pretty to watch.
I mean, whoever pops over an armbar reversal into an ankle lock, like made it.
But how often do you see that? And
but even the fans,
how often is it not?
Yeah. Did you hear the fans? They like oohed and ahhed over it. Like they were impressed. So, yeah, it was cool. But yeah, it was good. I'm
No, it
glad.
was a great moment.
Well, they're gonna have one more match. They'll blow it off. Blow off the feud. Becky will probably.
I think she'll get curb stomped in that one. But up until now, she's held her own and been great. So after that, we get Stephanie Vacquier defeating Roxanne Perez, and
You forgot about a little segment backstage before that.
it's after this. Or maybe I got it backwards. Well, we'll
You
talk
might.
about it after this.
Okay, let's get on to that.
Yeah. So the only thing I got to say, it is not often that you see a wrestler ooze talent. Like, you just see it, right? Like, Vakir just oozes talent, dude. Like, everything she does is so effing good. And I know I sound like a fanboy right now, but like every time I watch her wrestle, she is just so smooth and into it and just nailing it. It's really impressive with her. And Roxanne's no slouch either.
No.
So like, they both work well together, but like Vakir in that match was just like halfway through, I was like, holy crap, she just oozes talent. She just does. This is what it is. She makes it look effortless.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. She makes it look effortless. And like I appreciated her. I was like, she's just so damn good. You know what I mean? Like it's like when I'm going to compare the two because they just wrestled and they're both champs. So Stratton will give you moments, right? Like Stratton, you'll see cool things. You're like, oh wow, that's really cool. But I feel like she's in a like, it's like playing Mortal Kombat and you just know 5 moves. You know what I mean? I'm not saying she only has 5 moves in her set, but I'm just saying that simplified thing. Whereas like people using Fakir in a video game, it's like Tekken and you're just button mashing and coming up with all this great stuff. And for whatever reason, everything's hidden, right? Like I think that's the best way. She's just so smooth in what she does in Fakir. Like I'm like, when you look at the two, it's like, yeah, you can kind of see the contrast.
Yeah, and like Fakir could do stuff with just a look. Like when she's getting ready to set up for the Devil's Kiss, and she just kind of does that sideways glance, and like draws the crowd right in. Like she connects instantly with the crowd. And you had mentioned how like the crowd doesn't appreciate her yet. I think they're starting to. Like she doesn't get the huge pop when she comes out, but as her matches
They
build,
changed her intro. You notice that, right? Like her coming to her intro is her music's the same, her presentation's the same. The only thing that changed is how she is positioned.
with the
So
horns
she's
come out
down
the
on a
screen.
knee. As the horns are coming up, she is standing up, which was kind of cool, but it was just a thing I noticed. But she's fine. She's going to be fine. She's too talented not to be. The only limitation for her is she is limited in what she can do in English she does good English, but I think it'll be the only thing that limits her for.
And I really hope they don't have her and Nikki Bella become like I guess Nikki challenged her to a match, but like, oh my god. Oh, you want to know why the screen? You want to know why the screen went black for like 5 minutes?
Yes, I would.
One of Nikki's puppies came off the leash, so they had a black screen.
Really?
Yeah, you like that? That was good. That was good. I just made that up in my head, but she did. No, she really did. She had a fallout. That's why she was holding her shirt over clothes afterward. But yeah, she.
So, well, I had a black screen earlier too, so I thought it was just a Netflix issue.
No, we had a wardrobe malfunction.
So let me say this, and it's going to be very harsh, and it's going to be very mean. And you tell me if I'm off base. Like, correct me. Nikki in the backstage segment with Stephanie Vakir felt very piss poor actress.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't come off as authentic. It didn't come off as she was buying her own shit. Like, I don't know. I was listening to her. I'm like, it just feels hollow. I need more. Give me more. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't vested. She was going through the motions. And well, I wish I had somebody that watched out for me when I was champion and blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, you could have embellished on that a little bit. You could have been like, yeah, when I was champion, I was getting my ass whooped because I didn't have anybody to watch my back. Like, saying the same thing, but presentation wise, totally different. Instead, it seems like her conversation with Vakir was so insincere and half assed. It was like, I just want a match or whatever. You get where I'm going with this. Like, she just came off as so fake and
Yeah.
it bothered me.
Well,
So,
I'm not a big Nikki Bella fan anyway.
I know.
So, yeah. So,
Why'd
actually,
you write boo in the text?
yeah, because I think,
Like,
honestly, once Nikki started talking and it was going on back and forth, after about 10, 15 seconds, I looked over my computer and I was like checking Facebook and ESPN scores, and half listening. Because I just tuned
go
out.
Blue Jays.
Yeah. Well, Dodgers are going to be tough.
So, all right, cool.
Yeah, but
Let's
you hate Toronto though, because Bon Jovi he wanted to buy the Bills and move them to Toronto.
No, I hate Bon Jovi because he wanted to move the Bills to Toronto.
I thought you didn't care for
Toronto. The Blue Jays. No, go Argonauts. Like, I'm fine with Toronto.
You know who?
But right now, go Blue Jays.
You know who was an owner at the Argonauts? John Candy was a part owner of the Toronto Argonauts.
I believe it.
Yep.
And Doug Flutie was their quarterback. But anyways,
was it?
Yes.
That's right. Because then he went to BC and played with the BC Lions. Wow, yep. Canadian football reference on the podcast.
Who saw that coming? And a baseball reference. I'm not even a big baseball guy, but I know you're not. So
yeah.
Actually, it's sidebar. People in Western New York are losing their crap against each other right now because there are two prominent fan bases in Western New York for baseball. It's the craziest thing, right? So a lot of Western New York are Blue Jays fans, especially around Buffalo, because the AAA, AA affiliate in Buffalo, the Bisons, are associated with Toronto, right? So locally, they were going to see players play. Toronto's only like 2 hours away, so there's a lot of Toronto Blue Jays fans. And Yankees fans were PO'd. They're like, how are you in New York and you don't like the Yankees? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, it's like, bro, they're 2 hours away. Like, it's a hop, skip, and a jump over to the border to go see them play. Like, do you not get that? Like, it would take somebody 6 hours and like 50 grand to go see the Yankees. It costs like, a 2 hour drive in like, 2 loonies and 2 toonies to like go see the Blue Jays. I'm exaggerating, but still, you get my point. Like, you could actually make a day of it and go see a Blue Jays game, or you could make a weekend of it and go see a Yankees game.
Plus,
it was funny watching the two fan bases nip at each other. It was great.
And you can get your Labatt's at the Rogers Stadium, because every stadium in Canada on the east side sells Labatt's.
No. All
right.
Yes, it is. Oh, now you're telling me I got to start drinking Labatt's on the podcast again? Oh, geez. I'll take one for the team. Beer. All right, so backstage, Paul Heyman is back there talking to Adam Pearce, begging to let like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed into the Battle Royal. I keep on wanting to say Royal Rumble, but it wasn't a Royal Rumble. It was a Battle Royal because they all started in the ring together. And Pierce just say please. So Slimy Paul does Slimy Paul things and sucks up. And he was like, no, and slams the door in his face. And that was the moment where I went, Raw and SmackDown have the best general managers in WWE history. Both of them. Like, they don't feel like a add-on or and it's funny because Pierce was actually that guy, right? Like back in the day when he was a GM. If you stop and think about it. So when it was him and what's her name? There was two of them, female wrestler. Folks, if you hear this, just fill in the blank for me. But anyways,
I was going to say Vicky Guerrero, but that was before. That was a while ago.
No, it wasn't Vicky Guerrero because it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh well. Anyways, back then they were still kind of GMs, But ever since it's been him and Aldis on the 2 brands, brilliant. Like, he's really found his stride. He's doing a lot of great engagement. He's giving you the, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do on Raw via social media." He
Yep.
does it for
He's
you on
great for
Facebook.
that.
He does it for me on X. Like, you're getting all the answers out there, and, like, they do great work, and you can see them both asserting their dominance over their brand, right? Like, you'll have moments where, like, Nick Aldis will be like, "No, it is great that I ran into you because I'm about to F up your world because you effed up mine. You peed in my pool, now I'm gonna pee in your pool." And, like, Pierce has been doing the same. So, kudos to both GMs, man. They're killing it.
Well, I think it helps too because, like, I know Adam Pierce was like a multi-time MWA champion, and I think Nick Aldis was a world champion for a couple of other. I don't know as much about Nick Aldis as I do Adam Pierce, but I mean, you had like legitimate, like, great wrestlers, and now in this GM role, but they're not being treated as like unimportant. Like now, like Paul Heyman has to go see Adam Pierce to get what he wants. Other wrestlers have to go see Adam Pierce, and he's not a pushover like they used to be, where like they would stuff,
Yeah.
basically
Well,
not.
they used to just okey doke and do their own damn thing anyway, so it was just like
Yeah, they look
the
powerless
GM
and
was
weak.
just like the local punching bag,
Yeah,
and, like, now they don't.
no,
And actually, I'll be honest with you, like, and good on them for this, I actually associate each brand with their GM now.
yeah,
Like, mentally, I have gotten into the habit of I expect Nick Aldis to come out and announce things for SmackDown. I expect Adam Pearce to announce things for Raw. So, like, good on them both, man. They just amazing. So,
Pierce is hilarious.
after Paul Heyman, the slimy Paul Heyman, it's the door slammed in his face. He tries to weasel speak his way into Becky, and Becky cuts one of the most phenomenal freaking promos. And I'm gonna give Busted Open credit because they touched on a couple of things that I noticed, but it didn't stick until they reinforced it, and I was like, "Holy crap!" So her talking quietly into Paul's ear, her grabbing his tie to pull him in, like, was distinctive. Her basically telling Paul that Seth never trusted you. He knew it was going to happen. He used you. Was brilliant. And then, like, her straight, he's going to destroy everything that you build. So, but he's not going to mess with you. And I was just like, this is so good. And I came out of that, I was like, that's Becky's greatest promo ever. Because it explained why she sucked in the ring against Maxine Dupree. It explained why she looked disheveled and off the whole night. Like, there was just so much there, and it hits real, and it was just so effing good.
Yeah,
It was probably the best segment of the entire Raw, to be honest with you.
it was super authentic, you know, and we've seen Becky do great stuff from slapping CM Punk and all this other stuff, but like last night was just whole other level. It was just
It because it didn't come across as it came across as authentic for her, which I'm not saying that she didn't come across authentic in the AJ Lee and CM Punk thing, but she legit came across as authentic in this. Like, you felt her vile and hatred for Paul Heyman in that moment. You felt it. You could see yourself in that position and be like, "Yeah, you go, girl. You tell his goat smelling ass," and like, or penguin ass. Sorry, but you get my point, right? Like, it it was just done, in my opinion, to perfection. It was beautiful, and the beauty of it is that if I'm Becky, I had a couple of spitball ideas on this. Like, I was kind of kicking them around because I was like, do you have Becky make a faction that just keeps on screwing up all of Paul's plans? Like, do you have Becky somehow recruit a couple of male wrestlers that just stick in the craw of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker? Like, at most inopportune times, they just pop up and they just get in the way. And then, like, the other thing I had in my notes was like, I would have her torment Paul Heyman. Like, anytime Paul Heyman was out, I would just have her walk out onto every now and again, play Seth's music and walk out onto the ramp, and then don't say a word, turn around and go back, just to see him shit himself. Like I honestly, I would have Becky Lynch tormenting Paul Heyman directly. Like anything that she could do to make his life miserable, I would love for that. So, spitballing, I'm not saying it has to happen, but it would be kind of cool to drag out.
But she still has to save enough left for Seth to get his too, because Seth's going to want his.
Well, you just play head games with him. You just you don't focus on Reed and Breaker. You just make Paul Heyman miserable. And what's even better is she can focus all her vileness onto Paul Heyman, and his two goons can't really do shit about it. You know what I mean? Unless he recruits another female wrestler, they're stuck.
Yeah.
So,
yep. We'll see.
And then we get,
but I don't want them turning her into a baby face. Like, I don't want.
No, you just have her be a vindictive bitch.
Yeah.
Like, she stays who she is. She's already like an arrogant heel, but you just have her vileness just like laser focused on him and just making his life miserable.
Because even though Seth's out,
like I said, and it doesn't even have to be much. It's just enough to like keep on reminding Paul, like, your time is coming and it's not going to be pretty, but you just keep on screwing with his head and making him miserable. You drive him nuts is what you do. But I mean, there's more to this though, like on the Heyman side of things too, though, because like Heyman sat there and ran down his list of credentials of how he's just a star maker, which also lended itself to the fact that, like, I think it reinforced that Braun Breaker went into business for himself, and I think that Paul is going to have a hard time because he's going to get Solo flashbacks, right? Because Solo was in charge of that group, and like he got put through a table for his work. So I think that he's going to have a real hard time reeling in Breaker, because Breaker's going to want to just do what Breaker does. And he's going to be like, no, you got to play the game. You know what I mean?
We kind of saw that a little bit too before the Battle Royal, where he was telling the Bronze, and thank God I had the closed captions on, because Braun mumbled. But what he said was, he's like, I guess we have a lot to learn. And then after Paul left, he looked at Bronze, he goes, and we have a lot of people to beat up. Like, I think he wants to learn from Paul, but he still wants to do his thing. So there's always going to be this.
Yeah, but I think that his whole thing, this is why they didn't put him in the Battle Royal. The whole reason for that is he's got to keep on getting himself in his way. He's got to get in the way of himself for Braun Breaker.
Yep.
Until he really just starts reeling it back a little bit, and really starts listening to Heyman, so Heyman gets his hooks in. But yeah.
I have to say, too, like, I was wondering how are they going to adjust this whole Vision storyline that quick, and I think they've done a really good job with considering how little time they have.
I still think they need one more.
They
need one more vet.
But, like, for what they did in a week, with Seth being out, and then like Braun's attacking him last Monday, and then just what they did last night, they did a lot better than I thought they were going to do, because it was like, man, it put him in a bad spot. But just adding the Becky factor to it, I mean, actually Seth's injuries now have created like more storylines, so it's amazing how these things happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you get handed a turd, you make a sandwich. I mean, it is what it is. So let's get into it. So I'm not going to go through like every elimination in this Battle Royal. I think the Battle Royal, for the most part, did what it was supposed to. It carried on some storylines. So, stuff like Penta and Rusev, you kind of see where that's going now.
Yeah. Especially with Dom, eliminate them both.
It was kind of fun watching Rusev and Otis. Or no, not Otis. Otis and
Ivar
from the Raiders. Ivar.
Yeah.
It was like a sumo wrestling match. It was good to see Otis back, though.
Yeah, it was.
I was happy to see him back.
I'm just
I
like the Royal Rumble, but I'm not a big fan of Battle Royals.
I'm not either. It's just too much chaos. But I'll give them credit where credit's due. Like I said, they kept a lot of the storylines going, and they reinforced, and the right people took out the right people at the right times. Could have done without CM Punk doing horrible attempts at comedy.
Yeah.
He is not a natural at it.
No.
And it read as, I've said this before about Punk. When he tries to be funny, he comes across as like dad joke funny, and it's not a good thing. So it's like, bro, you need to stop.
But he did throw a lot of like good compliments out to JD McDonough. He was putting JD.
He did.
I focused in on that.
He put JD over. He put Dom over. He put a couple others over. So like he was given credit out there, but the jokes were terrible. But
well,
it is what it is. So we get down to the end.
Commentary as a whole last night, I was not impressed with. Tessitore and Barrett was not good last night. They were talking over the act. They weren't even like the match was going on. They weren't even talking about the match, and it was like good stuff going on. I was incredibly frustrated. So the older I get, the easier I get frustrated. And the match itself was all right. So, are you happy that Jay won, or do you think it was the right call?
No, I think it's the right call. Okay, so let's talk about this. So first off, Jay eliminating Jimmy after Jimmy spent the match saving Jay is a big deal.
That's a big deal, yes.
That's the story that is going into this. Now, let's talk about Jay, and let's talk about Saturday night's main event, because that's where the new world champion is going to be. So here's my thing. I think you got to put Jay over on this. And the reason why I think you're walking you have two ways to attack. We know WWE kind of wants to put the title on CM Punk, but CM Punk doesn't need the title, right? And I think if you put the title on CM Punk, you automatically set up the very first freaking promo from Seth when he comes back, where he's like, "You had to wait for me to be on the shelf before you could get your title, and the only reason you had that title is I was on the shelf," right? So there's that, and that'll set up by the way, I want my title back thing. So you could go that route. The reason I say Jay, you can do one of two things. You can go either way with Jay. I think you should have him win, because right now the story of Jay is Star Wars reference. Jay is Anakin Skywalker kind of sliding to the dark side, and Jimmy is Queen Amidala, like going like, "I don't even know you anymore." You know what I mean? Whereas, and like, obviously Emperor Palpatine is Roman Reigns, right? Like, it's a full-blown Star Wars storyline. Unfortunately, it's the prequels, but I digress. The whole thing is that, like, I think if Jay gets the title, you have him double down on Romanisms and you just let him run with it. Because, like, we're going into holiday season 2. Yes, we have another big PLE to go, but, like, you can get some traction. You can kind of ride that wave. You'll get the fan interaction all the way through December. And then once WrestleMania season hits, then you can start looking at that. The good news about that is you don't put the title on Punk, who really doesn't need it. He's over regardless, right? He's CM Punk, and people love him. Eventually, you are going to have to put him over, because you can't have him just keep on getting there. But technically, he already did get over once for 5 whole minutes.
I like Jay. I like Jay going over because it also sets up after the Punk thing that LA Knight's waiting in the wings, and I think we're gonna still be waiting a little while on LA Knight, because I think that they want the payoff to be big. I don't know if they're going to give the title to LA Knight. I think they should.
You have to. You cannot put him in a title match. Nick Nemeth touched on this too, and I agree with him on this. You cannot put him in a title match and have him lose again. You cannot give him the perpetual always the bridesmaid, never the bride thing.
I don't think
he's
never had a world title match ever. So, he's never even had an opportunity at it. So, can you imagine whenever he wins the world title, they're going to blow the roof off that. That place will go crazy, because he's getting some of the biggest responses from the crowd right now.
He might have to go the J route, man. Like, he's just going to have to, like, fight all the way through, and it's just, that's fine. So, like, I honestly, I don't really care. Like, I'm fine with it. I think that the story is more about Jay and Jimmy right now.
Right.
So like, I almost think that you put the title on him, let him go further down. You have Roman finally pop up around Christmas time, and like Roman's kind of like, I told you, you're doing what I told you to do. Yes, feel the dark side. You know what I mean? Like, so you have him feeding that, and you just, like I said, Jimmy is Queen Amidala. Like, it's like I don't even know you anymore, and like you just keep on going down that route. So it's like that. I think that's the better storyline because if Punk wins, okay, then and then
he can have
what?
yeah.
We're gonna kick off the thing with the Vision. Like, I don't know. I think you get more. I think you get, well, his ultimate nemesis is not there. And like you have face v face right now. I guess you can make an argument that Jay is technically the heel, but like this face v face, I know you can do it, but it's happening a little too often right now where it's just like, let's hug it out, man. Cause yeah, I don't know. The Punk is kind of not edgy anymore. He's just kind of kumbaya-ish as a character. Like it, like I said, I never saw his original work, so I'm always behind the curve on CM Punk. I can only talk about what I see now. But like him right now, I'm like, you're not edgy, dude. You're kind of like happy go lucky, like, so it is what it is. But I think if you're not gonna have LA Knight win it all, then you don't put LA Knight over. You know what I mean? They keep on putting him in complex situations where he kind of gets left out, but it's always like wonky shit. And like if it's a one-on-one and he loses, then he's screwed.
Exactly.
So you got to save that. You got to save that round.
But that's about all I got on the Battle Royal.
Yeah, it was, like I said, man, it was a good weekend
Good
of
week.
like wrestling, man. SmackDown was solid, Raw was solid, and a couple of weeks we'll get another damn PLE because we don't get enough PLEs anymore. Well, I wouldn't even call it a PLE. We get the redheaded stepchild of a PLE is, but no. But yeah, Matt, tell the folks where to find us, man.
Find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, we'll put the link out on for the charity sites for the military that Sean put out at the beginning. We'll make sure we get that up in the description so you can check that out. Again, we appreciate you. Please give us likes and comments. The likes have definitely been increasing that we've seen on TikTok, and it's more importantly on YouTube. So please like, subscribe, share, get the word out. Tell us what you think of our new logo and all that groovy stuff.
Our new production work.
Woohoo! On a Sunday. But yeah, that's all I got, man. And looking forward to this weekend. See what they're going to do this weekend.
Same, man. Hey, look, folks, again, like Matt said, we'll put the links out about those charities. If not, feel free to go back there. The site is willcommajority.com. It's Operation Close Air Support. If you are a veteran and you're watching this, make sure you do a buddy check on one of your buddies. I'm sure you got communication with one of them. It's that time of year, man. We're going into holidays. Just make sure we're watching out for our battle buddies, right?
Yes, sir.
So outside of that, I hope everyone has a great week. Look forward to talking to y'all next week, and everyone have a good one. Love y'all.
Love you.
Out.
Later.